Thanksgiving dinner right around the corner, a local pantry steps up for families in need. Plus, 17 children find their forever homes on National Adoption Day. And some locals put on their dancing shoes tonight to support a fundraiser.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kelsey Woodall, and thanks for joining us. The Rock River Valley Pantry hosted a food drive this morning, making sure families don't go hungry this Thanksgiving. Eyewitness News reporter Stephen Lewandowski has the story.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, same to you.
The Rock River Valley Pantry hosted their Thanksgiving meal box distribution Saturday. As need for the pantry grows more and more, days like this are all the more important.
Around the holidays, there's something about that good meal that makes it just a little extra special. So for us to be able to provide this meal, it's just something that we love doing each and every year.
As the government shutdown was creeping closely to Thanksgiving, many families worried where to find their next meal. Tabitha hopes today's distribution can help ease some of those worries.
If you can count on one thing, even if it's as simple as a Thanksgiving meal and knowing you don't have to worry about how you're going to get that meal, I think that's really important.
Even the little ones doing their part. Board President Reggie Tillman believes it's important to instill generosity at a young age.
To have our board members here and their families here, some of them are, very young age, and it's great to be able to have that culture of giving and really instill that in all of our young people.
The distribution, a success. However, Tillman recognizes the need is year-round.
Hunger never stops, even past Thanksgiving. So, we're happy to be able to do what we're doing, thankful for our volunteers and our donors that allow us to do what we're doing. But, we celebrate today, but hunger never stops. It'll go on into the coming months as well.
250 families within the state line benefited from the distribution.
It's just awesome to be able to see the people that we serve. We talk a lot in terms of numbers of people, numbers of households, but behind each one of those numbers is a face and a family.
Families that won't be going hungry this Thanksgiving. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Stephen Lewandowski.
Today, an event in Rockford aimed to raise awareness for children in foster care. For the last 21 years, the 17th Circuit Court has held its annual National Adoption Day celebration. Judges, court staff, and social service agencies came together to finalize adoptions for 17 children in foster care. More than 90,000 children in foster care are ready and waiting to find their forever home. One parent says in high school she had an experience that made her think about adopting children later on in her life.
I would walk from my high school to my grandma's house, which was about 5 or 6 blocks. And in the middle, there was an orphanage. And this one little girl, about 5, 6 years old, would meet me at the end of the fence and walk all the way to the end and kept asking if I would be her mommy.
According to the U.S. Department of Education, there's approximately 400,000 children and youth in foster care per year. Rockford residents gathered for a day of holiday shopping. Local vendors, artists, and crafters got to showcase their businesses at Christian Life High School. The event raised money for Christian Life School's Boosters Club. With a variety of businesses, one vendor makes handmade body butters, candles, lip glosses, and other items. She said her husband pushed her to keep growing within her business.
You always start some, but you don't finish it. And that was my drive. So I'm 5 years in with my business. I used to make these products and give them away to family and friends years ago. But when he said that, I was kind of like a driving force for me. So he put a battery in my back to let me know, hey, you got it in you.
The next State Line event takes place tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the 10th annual Holiday Bazaar in Machesney Park. Local dancers took the stage tonight for a cause. It was the 18th year for Dancing with the Rockford Stars, benefiting family counseling services. Celebrity teams pair up to raise the most money through sponsorships and ticket sales. There are 2 awards, the People's Choice Award and Judge's Choice Award. The favorite dance team takes home the Mirror Ball Trophy. The executive director said her favorite part about the event is not just the fundraiser, but the dancing too.
At the end, when you see all the total money that we are able to raise through this event and know the good that will come from it, because we'll be able to provide so much in mental health care services to our clients and to the members of our community, it's really so much fun to watch the dancers perform, and just knowing they're volunteering their time and putting in so much dedication, and they help fundraise for us through the whole process.
Eyewitness News is an official sponsor of Dancing with the Rockford Stars. Coming up, art comes to life at a State Line Community Showcase. With over 30 exhibits, attendees saw and learned the stories of their art.
Temperatures made their way into the 40s again, but did not surpass that 50-degree mark. We will get there tomorrow with the return of some sunshine, but it will not last long. We'll keep the mild trend for a few more days, but I'll let you know when we'll start to see our next rain chances work their way in and the cool down to follow coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Kelsey Woodall, Drew Collins, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
One State Line community gathered to support and learn about art. Wesley Willows held its second annual art exhibition earlier today, showcasing the creative side of the Wesley Willow residents. There were 36 total exhibits, from crocheted animals to woodworking. Attendees had the opportunity to see the art, learn the stories behind them, and purchase any pieces for sale. An organizer of the event talks about how it came to be.
I went to the auxiliary board last year and I said, you know, I think I've got an idea that we ought to have an exposition of just the talents, interests of the people, of our residents here at Wesley Willows. It turned out to be a tremendous success.
There was also a special collection of donated artwork that was available for purchase, with all the proceeds benefiting the Wesley Willows Good Samaritan Fund. Our Remarkable Women contest returns for another year. We are honoring women who have influenced our community through our Remarkable Women initiative. To nominate someone remarkable in your life, head to our website, mystateline.com, and click on the Community tab. Nominations will run through December 19th. Our local winner this year wins a trip to Nashville. We'll announce our Remarkable Woman winner in March. With the sun going down earlier, it sure gets harder to stay up later, and chilly days make me want to stay inside. Jordan tells us what to expect for the upcoming week next.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
We really have been stuck in the 40s for the last several days. Temperatures have not reached that 50-degree mark, although the last few of them have been above normal for this time of year, above average in the mid and upper 40s. We were still not breaking that 50-degree mark really over the last 6 days in a row, although tomorrow, with a little bit more sunshine, will likely surpass that mark. With that, though, we have a clearing sky here into the night tonight following a weaker cold front that passed early this morning, and that has allowed our temperature to drop a bit faster here into the evening. A look at that clear sky with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera in Beloit, Wisconsin. Temperature already dipping into the low 40s and near the upper 30s in some spots. We're at 43 in Rockford and Dixon, as well as in DeKalb, 40 degrees in Woodstock, Harvard, 41 in Poplar Grove, and in Janesville. Weather Watcher Terry out in Genoa reporting 42 degrees, a dew point of 38, along with a westerly wind at 9 miles per hour and 1/100th of an inch of rain from earlier today. With that clearing sky tonight, though, many spots will end up in the low 30s for those overnight lows. A forecast low of 31 degrees here in Rockford. Just a few clouds passing through the area, a little bit on the breezy side, with winds possibly gusting near 20 miles per hour during the overnight. Going into tomorrow, our temperature rebounds to 54 degrees. This time around, a lot more in the way of that sunshine. a much more pleasant day, certainly compared to where we have been when we've been stuck in the 40s for the last several days in a row. That comes with high pressure directly overhead, and you can see how that influences our temperature, starting in the low 30s as we head through the night tonight, but quickly returning into the low and possibly mid 50s in a few locations for tomorrow afternoon. Clouds will then start to filter back in Sunday night into Monday ahead of our next weather system, which will slow that drop in temperatures. I do think we stay dry at least to start off the day on Monday, but some very light and scattered showers will start to approach for Monday afternoon. Look at our temperature though, depending on how much sunshine we get trying to peek through those clouds early on. We will likely again get to that 50-degree mark on Monday, but with those light showers in place and the cloud cover sticking around Monday night, those temperatures won't fall off very far, even hugging the low 50 or low 40s or mid 40s for that next overnight low. So the next several days in a row will be quite mild. Monday, 53 degrees, Tuesday, 55. We get our next round of some rain showers that work their way in Monday and going into the early part of the day on Tuesday. But our next cold front then sweeps in shortly thereafter, and that will bring a sharp drop-off in our temperatures as we head into the middle of the week. So for Thanksgiving, our forecast high temperature 34 degrees here in Rockford. Last year we were 29 degrees, so even a little bit on the warmer side, but still below average for this time of year. As we head through the end of the week and going into next weekend, we'll start to get a pattern shift in the way, and that's what's going to bring us a little bit more of an active pattern. We've got this big pocket of colder air up to the north and to the northwest. Meanwhile, this milder air starts to push in from the south and from the southeast. And the interaction between those two could cause a little bit more of an active pattern overhead, and that could bring a few systems our direction for the first few days in the month of December. Still far too early to tell if that's going to bring us any snow, and if it will bring us any snow, far too early to tell us how much just yet. But still looking at the 50s for the next few days. 54 degrees Sunday, 53 then on Monday. We'll stick with the 50s through Tuesday, but then that sharp drop off in those numbers, a stray flurry possible to the north and east on Wednesday, then drying out for the next few days, but temperatures stuck in the 30s.
Thanks, Jordan. Drew's in next with sports. He has all of your high school football updates, including Belvedere North versus St. Francis.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
Belvedere North has been one of the biggest stories in high school football this season in the state line and in Illinois. Last week, the Blue Thunder surprised powerhouse Cary Grove. Today, they went after another football powerhouse, Wheaton St. Francis. This was a 5A semifinal game. A trip to next Saturday's state championship game was on the line. The main story for B North was that Air Force commit Ben Bucher barely played today after injuring his hamstring last week against Cary Grove. The Blue Thunder had it in the red zone before throwing an interception that led to this St. Francis TD. That's Brock Phillip finding Tanner Glock. St. Francis takes the lead. Because of the absence of Bucher, Eric Roman had to pick up the slack. He punches it in. The PAT was no good, so it was 7-6 St. Francis. But Brock Phillips looks for his guy Tanner Glock again, and Glock has another touchdown. Following another Belvedere North turnover, Brock Phillips takes it himself and scores. It was 21-6 in the second quarter. But with less than a minute in the half, B North looks like they can turn the page. A deep ball from Andrew Bucci to Nathan Alexander, but he fumbles within the goal line and St. Francis scoops it up. This play sums up how the game went for the Blue Thunder. And in the second half, Franny would outscore B North 14-7. So the Blue Thunder fall 35-13. The Byron Tigers have been all in on playing for a state championship this year. They had probably their best overall game of the season last week, taking down mighty IC Catholic. They needed a similar performance today against Richmond Burton. Scott Leber was there.
This 3A semifinal game was played on the Rockets' home field. Richmond Burton was also undefeated coming in. The Rockets opened the game with a 73-yard touchdown drive. Ray Hanneman completes a pass to All-State running back Hunter Carley, who takes it to the 11. Carley then carries for a 2-yard touchdown, and the Rockets led 7-0. Early second quarter now. After Rockets fumble, Caden Considine got his hands on the ball. He makes a little fake, then uses the big-time stiff arm, and he's in for a 25-yard touchdown. That was just the start of a huge day for Considine. Richmond Burton later scored a field goal, but Considine says, why settle for 3? I want 6. He gets outside, and he will go 81 yards for another score. A one-play, 81-yard touchdown drive gave Byron his first lead. From there, the Tigers took the momentum and ran with it. A couple plays later, the Tigers give it to Considine again, and watch him just level a Rockets defender at the goal line. The All-State senior was playing with out-of-this-world determination. Byron led 19-10. Third quarter now, the Tigers keep feeding the ball to Considine. That was a 13-yard touchdown, making it 27-10. The Tigers' offense and Considine were not done. Here's Considine for his 5th touchdown. He rushed for 286 yards on 24 carries. The Tigers will be playing for a 3A state championship next Friday at ISU. They win big on the road at Richmond Burton, 44-10.
I set a goal for myself at the beginning of this year that I was going to do whatever it takes to get recruited to win a state championship this year, and the hard work's paying off. I really pride myself on being the hardest competitor on the field.
Right now it means the world. I mean, freshman year we made it there, we got the job done. Last year we came up short, and last year's kind of been this year's fire, you know.
Has it sunk in how special this is?
I'm not sure if it's sunk in quite fully yet, but I'm sure about a couple hours from now I'll be going crazy, so.
And that brings us to the blockbuster 1A game in Stockton. The Blackhawks battled Lena Winslow for a trip to state in front of a massive crowd. On the opening kickoff, Stockton will return with a reverse, but the football pops out and Miles Mann recovers it. 2 plays later, Alex Schlichting powers his way in for the first touchdown of the game. Jumping to the second quarter, Blackhawks in the red zone. Nice floating pass from Noah Larson to Morgan Haas that tied it up 8-8 at the half. Jumping to the second half, Schlichting finds running room to the outside, but he pays the price at the goal line. This was his second touchdown from 20 yards out. On the next Panthers possession, Aiden Wild, haven't said that name yet, but you know what's going to happen here. He gets in right at the goal line. But Stockton answers. Jack Minsendijk takes the carry and he scores, so Stockton trailed 22-16 in the fourth quarter. But it was Aiden Wild again. He plows in for his second touchdown of the game and the game sealer. Lena Winslow wins 30-16 and advances to the state championship for the 5th year in a row.
We've basically put this game in our training ever since we lost Stockton. It's paid off for the end.
So coming back here and beating a team 10 miles down the road that we lost to, there's no better feeling than to go back down to state. It's just been motivation all year. After we lost to them, we went down and played Rochelle, played the most physical game we've ever played.
Great. Our line did great today, and so did our backs, and so did our defense. Our defense did really good today, and it feels great to go back to state again.
Congrats to Lewin and Byron. That's sports. We'll be right back.
It might have taken all season, but we're finally getting to the end of the year for football.
Yes.
And state championship, looking like we might have our coldest forecast yet.
Yeah, well, the weather, it was all right tonight. It was very gorgeous tonight. Last weekend it was all right. The weekend before that it was really cold and rainy. Any rain next Friday after Thanksgiving?
I don't think we're dealing with any rain, but it's certainly going to be looking on the colder side. High temperatures likely not reaching in much above the mid-30s and could be dealing with cold breeze as well. We're also dealing with a chill tonight. First Warn interactive radar from Rockford Glass & More keeps us dry with high pressure in place. Temperatures dropping down into the low 30s. 54 degrees as we head into tomorrow. Sunshine finally returns, but clouds followed by some light rain showers Monday into Tuesday, then much colder, 30s the rest of the week.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.